Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Jeff Peng. This will be a quick 5-minute stretch and exercise routine to help provide relief for low back pain. Now I recommend doing this routine at least 3 times a day in order to increase mobility and to increase range of motion. Feel free to follow along as we go through all the movements in real time. You can also use the timestamps or find a description of the routine down below. So the first thing we're going to do is cat-cow. So let's get on our hands and knees and get your wrists below your shoulders, knees below your hips, and then arch your back. Try to touch your belly button into your spine and look down. And now reverse it, so look upwards now and rotate your pelvis backwards. And then alternate between the two. Now this is a really good stretch and mobility exercise to open up our low back and our hips. And 30 seconds, good. The next thing we're gonna do are back extensions. So lie on your belly and then push up. Just like this. Now this is a really good exercise to help increase range of motion and mobility of the spine and get all the back muscles stretched out. And if you can't get all the way up here, you can start on your forearms over here and then push up. And then day by day, as your range of motion increases, see if you can get on your hands and end up somewhere around here. And we're gonna hold this for 30 seconds. Good. The next one we're gonna do is knee to chest. So lie on your back and pull your knee towards you. Just like this. And we're going to do one side first, and we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. And then we're going to move on to the other side, and we're going to do the other side for 30 seconds. And this is a really good stretch. If you've got really tight low back muscles, it's going to help really open up the low back. It's also going to really help open up the hips. And 30 seconds on this side, and we're going to switch sides in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and switch sides. So bring the other knee up and just hold it like this. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Now if you can't get all the way up here, because if your muscles are too tight or it's just really uncomfortable, that's okay. You can start farther down here and hold on to your knees like this. And then again, as you increase that range of motion, you should be able to slowly pull it up towards your hip and get a nice bigger stretch, kind of doing it like this. Okay, and we're going to hold this for 30 seconds on this side. In 3, 2, 1, good. The next movement is a lying trunk rotation. So just like knee to chest, lie down. Bring your knee to your chest, but this time you're going to rotate it towards the side. Just like this. Now this hand, you can put gentle pressure on the knee to try to touch it to the ground, and that's going to rotate your trunk even more to get a bigger stretch. You want to also try to open up your chest by bringing this shoulder and see if you can touch it to the ground. So opening up the chest, rotating the trunk, feeling that deep stretch in your low back. If you have tight glutes, you're also going to feel it in your hips. You're going to feel it all up and down your spine. So 30 seconds on this side. Good. Switch sides. So same thing. Knee to chest, and then rotate towards the other side. Open up the chest over here. This hand, gentle pressure on the knee to try to push it down towards the ground. Feel that big stretch as you rotate your trunk. You're going to feel it in the spine. You're going to feel it in the hips. And we're going to hold this for a total of 30 seconds. So 3, in 2, in 1, good. The next stretch is a hamstring stretch. So just extend your leg and try to touch your toes. Just like this. Now if you can't make it all the way to your toes, and you can only make it to your knee, that's fine. Just try to feel that stretch in the back part of your hamstring all the way down here. Now you don't want to try to bend your back like this. Hinge at the hip. Try to touch your chest to your knees or try to touch your chest to your toes, and that's the goal of feeling this stretch. And we're going to do this side for 30 seconds and then we're going to switch sides. So 3, 2, 1, good, switch sides. And the reason we're focusing on our hamstrings is when people have really tight hamstrings, it actually pulls down on the back of your pelvis, and we call that a posterior pelvic tilt. And people who have a posterior pelvic tilt, it puts chronic tension on your low back muscle. So over time, you're straining it, you're overloading it, and it's a very common cause of persistent low back pain. So 30 seconds on this side, 3, 2, 1, good. So the next stretch we're going to do is we're going to work on our gluteal muscles. So get into a 90-90 position, which is 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here, and then lean forward towards your knee, just like this. Now if you can get on your forearms here, that's good. If you can stay on your hands over here, that's fine too. Where you want to feel it is in the gluteal, the posterior part of your hips, where all your gluteal muscles are. And we're going to hold this side for a total of 30 seconds. Now our glutes are incredibly important for pelvic stability. And when people have tight glute muscles, when they have weak glute muscles, they tend to have poor posture, they tend to have abnormal movements. And 30 seconds, good, so switch sides. And you can also do a pigeon pose, which is a 90 degrees here. Extend your back leg and then lean forward like this. And if you can get on your forearms like this, you get a bigger stretch in the posterior part of your hip. You're going to feel that all the way in your glute muscles. And again, the glutes are so important for pelvic stability that if you have tight glutes, if you have weak glutes, you're going to overload your spine, you're going to overload your back muscles, and that can lead to persistent pain in the back. So 30 seconds, good. The last movement we're going to do is child's pose. So just get on your hands and your knees like this, and then sit backwards and try to reach out with your hands. Just like this. And where you're going to feel it, this is really going to help elongate the spine, stretch out those back muscles. It's going to also help open up the hips. And if you have shoulder pain, you may even feel a stretch right here in the back part of your shoulder. So we're going to hold this for a total of 30 seconds as well. So in 3, in 2, in 1, good. All it takes is 5 minutes to stretch out and strengthen the low back. Do this routine 3 times a day in order to provide relief for low back pain. If you found this information useful, please share with others. Please also consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. I can be found on Twitter at JeffreyPengMD, and I write on my blog at jeffreypengmd.com.